Hello, we're live with another episode of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined by the usual suspect. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
This is Kenoshi Abominito. Welcome to the Crow Buffet, where we will be selling, where it is all you can eat crow and humble pie.
Yeah,
It's all we sell here.
yeah. That's all we sell here: humble pie, crow, and with a side of fuck around and find out. Uh,
Yep.
hey, you fuck around and find out. Okay, so we don't have a huge amount of topics. We're going to talk about the Pokemon Company and Nintendo lying about how no one complained about the bugs in this game. We're going to talk about the 20th anniversary of Squaresoft and Enix merging, which I'll be honest with you, 20 years ago, I was 16 and I thought that Square Enix and merging, I mean, you had Square Enix, which was arguably one of the most, if not the, like, worldwide, one of the top tier JRPG developers slash publishers. If they weren't number one, they were number two. And Enix, who arguably in Japan was the king of JRPGs. And if these two combined forces, surely the resulting combination would be the best thing ever. It would be like if Coca-Cola and Pepsi merged. Surely they would create the greatest Coke of all time, right? Right?
Yeah.
You would think, wouldn't you? That's not what happened. That's not what happened whatsoever at all. We're going to talk about the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft. There's a very interesting article I think people should know about. And we'll close it out with hot takes and free topics. So let's get started first with Pokemon's continuous BS. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to screen share something that I think people should see because it needs to be seen. Here we go. It's 2 minutes long, but I think it's fair for people to see this. Oh, oh no! They fell through the floor! Well,
That's he's becoming a helicopter.
god damn! That dude dislocated his shoulder! Damn! Oh, okay.
Hello?
I can't take any more of it. No, let's finish it out. We got a little under 2 minutes of it. We got a little under 20.
It's busted.
Wait, did I miss
Oh.
it?
I'm screen sharing it right now, so if you're looking at the main thing, you'll see it.
Yes.
It's also in the chat, so you can look at it in your own time.
Oh my god! Yeah, I couldn't wait to get on this podcast because I want to talk about that.
So, as you can see,
You said Breath of the Wild was bad. Oh my god.
Breath of the Wild was bad, but Breath of the Wild didn't
No,
have
no,
bugs
I
like
mean you
that.
said it was bad with the crashing, but like this
No,
was
Breath of the
really-
Wild was bad with the crashing for me because, like, for a Nintendo first party game, it crashed about 3 times.
Oh, I thought I said crashed once.
No, 3 times. 3 official crashes, and like a lot of performance issues where like if you played it for long enough, at least when I was playing the game, like you could fall through the floor occasionally. Like it only happened to me
Oh, I
like
didn't know
once.
that.
Yeah, I mean, like here's the thing. Breath of the Wild was not the most optimized game for the system, at least at the time. But I wasn't like I didn't get Pokemon Arceus or Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee because when I heard they were just like basically revamps of Pokemon Red and Blue, I didn't really give a shit because I've played Pokemon Red and Blue so many times. I don't want to play a remake of it.
But you'll feel the nostalgia.
I already had they already got me with nostalgia once before, like twice actually, because I bought Pokemon Leaf Red, Leaf Green, and Fire Red. I bought Pokemon X and Y, which was designed to be nostalgic for people who grew up with Red and
Yeah.
Blue. Even with the color scheme, it was designed like even the fact that you could choose one of the starters from Red and Blue. Like halfway through, Professor Oak's like, "Hey, kid, I don't know who you are, but you can have one of these starters." It's like, okay, sure, why not? Even like the
Yeah,
final villain of that game, like
that
when you
had the
go to
worst
his little
storytelling.
to Team Flair's little secret headquarters, it even has the little like teleporter things like they had in Team Rocket's headquarters in Red and Blue. Like X and Y was one big nostalgia bomb for people who grew up with Red and Blue. And that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. I like X and Y. X and Y really appreciated that people didn't have time to raise their Pokemon like they did when they were kids. So there was a lot of shortcuts that made it easier for you to raise your effort values of your Pokemon, um to
Sorry,
super
I'm watching
train
video.
your Pokemon. Like a lot of shit that was made easier, and plus you could basically like here's how I got all the Pokemon in that game. I had both versions, and I would open up the Pokemon bank. I would start a new game, get as many Pokemon as I wanted that I didn't have in the other version, add it to the Pokemon bank. So that's how I had the whole Pokedex early on in the game. And then I'm like, this is my real playthrough, and then I would play through, and I basically had a team with my old legendary starters, you know, my Charizard, my Venusaur, my Blastoise, and my new starters, the starters they had in X and Y. So, I mean, I liked X and Y. I really did. I'm not saying it was perfect, but I liked it for what it was. But when Nintendo says there haven't been any reports of people complaining about the good bugs and glitches in the game, I gotta call bullshit.
Yeah, I mean it's the same problem we had with Cyberpunk 2077 a few years ago with back in 2020 with CD Projekt Red. It's like you know the you know the usually the company saying it's not that bad. We made a whole bunch of money.
Yeah,
Look at the
but
conferences. Like
there is a
okay.
difference. It's not a one-to-one comparison because they had to admit that those bugs were there. Nintendo straight and Pokemon Company are straight up lying and saying that no one's complained about it, which is bullshit because they wouldn't be offering refunds if people weren't
Yeah.
complaining about it.
Yeah, there's it's just another example of poor PR. You know,
Oh my
refusing to
god.
get ahead of it, acting like nothing's wrong.
Oh, don't mind this NPC twerking on the floor. Don't mind this character falling through the floor. It's not a problem. So basically, I'm going to continue ad blocker. So basically, they're following the rule of thumb, which is because here's the thing: because most companies outsource their Q&A, they outsource their call centers for complaints. Technically speaking, they can say they didn't hear any complaints about the quality of the game.
Oh wow.
So technically speaking, they can say it, but we all know it not to be true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when a police department in a major city says, we don't have any complaints about our policing. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Because even if you have the most well-trained police force in America with the most courteous cops, you're going to have nuisance complaints. So if someone tells you, "No, we didn't have any complaints," someone's lying. They're full of shit.
Yeah.
And then they lied. No, go ahead, Kenoshi.
No, go ahead.
You know, and then they lied and said, "Oh, well, we don't have any plans for a patch." You mean to tell me you're gonna let this shit now? Here's the thing: they're trying to save face instead of just being honest. Look, the game came out too early. We pushed it out. We clearly were not ready. We clearly were not ready to get this game out. This game should have been pushed back. At the earliest, it should have been pushed back to March at the end of their fiscal year so that they could claim that, oh, it made so much money. At the best, they should have pushed it to November next year.
Yeah. One thing I have to say is, like, I've been arguing with people like this on Facebook where it's like they say, oh, it's a kid's game. It's not supposed to have quality. And I'm just thinking, like, no one said this when Sonic 06 was out.
Well, I understand where people might make that argument, but what those people need to understand is that, let me ask you something. Are kids able to have a job?
No. I mean,
so if kids want to get a big ticket item, who do they get money from?
Their parents. I know what you mean.
So if if you're a parent and you're buying a $60, because this is a $60 game. If it was $50 or $39.99, I'd say, well, it's kind of a budget title. They're charging people $60 for this shit. And it has these types of issues. As a parent, you should be complaining. The hell what your kids say.
Yeah.
I like falling through the floor, Daddy. Well...
No, they'd be upset too. They'd be like, why is he falling? This looks so weird.
You know, they'd probably roll with it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Here's what I discovered. Some kids are stupid. They are not very bright. Now, to be fair, I have a job where I see people who get drunk and have a sense of entitlement. So I see people at their worst.
Oh, wow.
So, I may be a bit biased, but children are not smart. People in general are not smart.
Okay.
But anyway, Kenoshi, you were going to say something? You have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's no different than any other company. If they come out with a bad product, they should be put on notice. It's like, hey, look, this isn't acceptable. Especially with Nintendo being how they are, talking about how they make the most exceptional games.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, I'm gonna make a video real quick on my video game media mashups. It's gonna be really funny. It's about the Pokemon bugs.
All right, you can go do that. Anyway, so the thing that I noticed is that we've seen Nintendo, like I've seen Nintendo make an amazing game for the Switch that didn't have bugs of this level. Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
That game is amazing. I think it plays it a little safe, and the level design is kind of like, some levels are really well designed. Some levels I'm like, this kind of sucks.
this was the Wii U, this would probably be a bigger story. No, this would be a bigger story.
No, because I don't think the Wii U would have run a Pokemon game as shoddily as this game as the Switch is running this game.
And I'm just saying, if it were on the Wii U, it would probably more likely be a bigger story just
Oh yeah,
because of how hated that console was.
but let's keep it real. If the Pokemon Company had released a Pokemon game on the Wii U, do you think it would have sold as poorly as it did?
Oh, definitely not. That's for sure.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, um, you know, a success covers a multitude of sins. Um, the fact that the online is shit and they're charging you an exorbitant amount of money for it. The fact that the hardware is old as fuck, and it's one thing if the hardware is old as fuck, but the games are optimized for the hardware. The Game Boy had old as fuck hardware, and yet, like, the Game Boy had one of the best library of games ever.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Game Boy Advance. So the Wii, look, third-party games on the Wii ran like shit, but the first and second-party exclusives were amazing on that system.
Yeah.
This is a Nintendo problem. This is a Nintendo and Pokemon. Really, it's not even a Nintendo problem. It's a Pokemon Company problem because they should have pushed that game back to next year.
Yeah, they should have just, like I said in my cast yesterday, it's like, um, Pokemon, Pokemon Arceus should have been the game, and then they should have just pushed back this game to next year.
Yeah, but they were like, "Oh no, we can't do that. We gotta do whatever bullshit we gotta do."
Yeah.
But whatever. And here's the thing: I actually was looking forward to the game a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this actually looks like they're actually trying to do something new, and they're actually trying to take chances. Too bad they didn't give the development studio another year in the pot. Because I truly do believe had this game been pushed back to next year, even if they had given another 4 or 5 months to March, it would have been better.
Yeah.
But, gotta meet that deadline. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Next topic. 20 years ago, two of Japan's biggest JRPG development and publishing houses merged. And it's been a shit show ever since. Final Fantasy went down the shitter. The quality of Dragon Quest went down a little bit, but the drop wasn't as precipitous. Like if Dragon Quest during the Enix days was like an A minus, it went down to a B, to a solid B.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy was always kind of uneven,
Yeah.
Because it depends on who you are and what Final Fantasy you played. Like some people really love Final Fantasy VII. I am not one of those people. To me, Final Fantasy VII is a shittier version of Final Fantasy VI. Down to a lot of the tropes, a lot of the characters are shittier versions of Final Fantasy VI characters.
I feel like when it went to 3D, something significant was lost. Because I didn't, of course, I'm not a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII, although I think it has some of the best music in the series. I'm not really a fan of the gameplay. I'm not. I tried getting into Final Fantasy IX. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I like Final Fantasy IX though. I think Final Fantasy IX was kind of like a throwback to old school Final Fantasy. I think 8 had some good ideas, just none of them were really well executed. I think 7 is not a terrible game, but it's just a shittier version of 6.
I don't know. Was heading in the right direction. It's just Titus is probably
Yeah,
the character that's dragging that game down.
yeah.
And then
If they had made Yuna the main character, it would have been great.
everything after 12 is just a tragedy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Basically, once Hironobu Sakaguchi was the guy who was holding that franchise together, and when he left, that whole series started going downhill.
yeah.
I think Final Fantasy. I mean, like I said, I think 7 is a shittier version of 6. Cloud is a shittier version of Terra. I think that Sephiroth is a shittier version of Kefka. Sid is a shittier version of Edgar. Sorry, Barrett is a shittier version of Edgar. Sid is a shittier version. No, Kate Sith is a shittier version of Setzer. I mean, they're all just like Yuffie is a shittier version of Shadow. Vincent's a shittier version of Realm, or actually Strago. Well, actually, Vincent's more of a shittier version of Gao.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they want to take Final Fantasy in a whole different direction, or at least, well, I wouldn't say they're essentially evolving off of the formula they've been, with 15. Although 16 looks like it's going to be a smoother experience because they got people that, worked on Devil May Cry and Platinum Games helping out with the action aspect of the game.
Yeah.
But for many people who grew up with Final Fantasy,
It's not Final Fantasy.
Departure.
It's
Yeah,
really, if it was a
turn-based.
spin-off, it'd be like, oh, this is cool, but they're making this into Final Fantasy. I'm like, this is not Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It looks cool though. The premise is cool. I'm just like, where's the party? Where are the towns?
Yeah.
At this point, you want to know who's making Final Fantasy games at this point? Intelligent Systems and Monolith Soft. Monolith Soft, especially. You want to play Final Fantasy? Go play fucking Xenoblade Chronicles.
Traveler.
No, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3, and X. That's your Final Fantasy right there.
Yeah.
Square Enix don't make Final Fantasy no more. Or to say that grammatically correctly, Square Enix doesn't make Final Fantasy games that have the quality and a plume and polish of past titles of the series in its golden age.
Yeah.
It's sad because, I mean, you would think two of the greatest JRPG houses of their time merging would equal, oh, that means we're going to be something great. It's like, hey, cake is good, ice cream is good. So if you combine cake and ice cream, the end result should be great. No. No. Hey, pizza's good. Yeah. Steak is good. Yeah. Let's combine the two. Steak pizza.
It's not very good.
I mean, it depends on how it's made, but I've had like those stunt pizzas where it's like, it's steak pizza. It's chicken Caesar pizza. I'm like, this is disgusting. Just give me pepperoni or sausage and mushroom or a supreme pizza. Don't be doing all that weird shit to the pizza.
Pizza's alright.
Don't fuck it up. Hell, I'll even take a classic Neapolitan style pizza where it's like Italian style where it's just a little bit of the marinara sauce, some relatively thick slices of mozzarella, and maybe like they shred some basil and put on top of it, put it under there so that it gets a little crusty on the edge, and the mozzarella gets all ooey and gooey, and they slice that shit up, and it's just cheese. It's just cheese and marinara with the basil. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, don't be doing weird shit. And that's that's Square Enix at this point, just doing weird shit and hoping something sticks. And it's disconcerting.
Yeah.
But do you have any thoughts? Do you have any hopes? Do you hope they'll get it together? Do you think they'll get it together? Or have you given up hope at this point? You're just like, I'm done.
I don't really care. I mean, if they come out with a game that looks interesting, great. But if they crash and burn, well, everything has its lifespan.
Be content for your channel.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this is a train wreck. I can't turn away.
It's like how I feel about certain things in politics. It's like, if things go south here, it'll be bad for the country, but it'll make for great podcasts.
Nah, I disagree with you on that one. Because here's the thing. If I didn't live in this country, it'd be hilarious, but I have to live here, so it's like, this is fucking horrific. This affects me directly. This is fucking horrifying. But video gaming, yeah, I don't, it's like, oh, this will add content to my channel. Because clearly these people don't care.
I mean, a lot of those people they aren't working there anymore. They left, they retired and they went off and did their own thing, or they're not keeping that company afloat. I mean, you still got maybe a couple of old heads still
Kicking around there, but they don't have any real power. Because if they did, the games would be better. Remember when they made those like 2D style games? They were like, yeah, this is made by the guy who worked on Chrono Trigger, and I think it's I Am Setsuna, and I'm like, this game kind of sucks.
That game looked kind of bad.
No, I don't even mean the graphics. Like, because for me, I'm old school. I don't really give a shit about the graphical fidelity with JRPGs, because JRPGs for me it's about the gameplay mechanics and the story and all that shit. But really, it's not. Square Enix doesn't make good RPGs anymore. You know who's making good RPGs, like good style, old school style JRPGs? Indie developers.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the graphics. I'm just talking about the gameplay.
Oh yeah, the gameplay was rough. It felt like a bootleg Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Like they bootleg themselves. They're like, we want to make Chrono Trigger, but we don't want to put the effort in to make the battle system good, so fuck it, we'll do this. And then they made a sequel, a follow-up, well, not a sequel, a spiritual successor to that game that was a little bit better than I Am Setsuna, but still not great. Yeah. It's like whatever magic Squaresoft used to have, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty much gone at this point.
But enough about that. Let's move on to the next. Anything else you want to add until we move on to the next topic?
No.
All right. Activision Blizzard is running into Microsoft is running into trouble trying to buy Activision Blizzard. I have an article here I want to share. It's let me put it this way. It doesn't look good for Microsoft or Activision Blizzard. So it's a short article. I'm going to read it. I'm not going to screen share it. I'm just going to read it. This is from Gagadget.com. And new threat to game industry's biggest deal. Swedish company accuses Bobby Kotick and Phil Spencer of collusion and has sued Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. Okay, while regulatory commissions of 16 countries are considering the potential consequences of the deal between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, and the deal itself raises many questions, um, and according to some insiders, this is in danger of collapse, there is another serious challenge to the plans of Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick. Here's what we know. This is in bold. Authoritative publication Bloomberg Law reports that the American giants have been sued by shunned AP Fonden, a company owned by the Swedish government. The fact is that shunned AP Fonden is a major shareholder of Activision Blizzard and believes that the grand scandal that preceded the announcement of the deal was as much as possible to both companies to significantly reduce the value of their shares. In addition, CEO Bobby Kotick, who, recall, was at the center of the scandal associated with constant harassment and an unhealthy work atmosphere at Activision Blizzard, received certain preferences and benefits through the deal with Microsoft. Taking over his company would allow Kotick to hush up the case, avoid liability, and protect himself from possible lawsuits. In the 205-page indictment, the Swedes from shunned AP Fonden make well-reasoned claims not only against Microsoft and Kotick, but against the entire board of directors of Activision Blizzard for criminal conspiracy and deliberate drafting of the deal in terms in a way that shielded Bobby Kotick from liability. This is a quote from shunned AP Fonden. Microsoft deliberately used the harassment scandal and its commercial advantage over over Activision to offer Kotick a way to save his own skin. The corporation colluded with Kotick and the board to help them avoid the personal and professional consequences of this scandal. This is exactly what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be a reckoning. I've said this before. Bobby Kotick and the board don't get to ride off into the sunset on their golden horses and then jump off a canyon, the top of a canyon, and pull their golden parachutes and float away. They don't get to do that.
Yeah.
Not after the shit they did. They don't get to do that. Okay.
Yeah, there's too much corruption in the company.
Yeah. Like, really, if this deal goes through, which it looks increasingly likely that there's going to be some, probably Microsoft is going to have to make some massive concessions to get this deal to go through. If it goes through at all. Like, Bobby Kotick and the executive board cannot be allowed to just be like, oh, well, they don't work here anymore. It's like, no. Not after the shit they hid and buried. I mean, the lady who they had in charge of their female of their little conference of female game programmers is the lady who drafted the torture memo, who drafted the memo for the Bush administration that said, "Oh, it's okay to torture people." Really? That's who you're gonna get to be in charge of saying that it's safe for women to work in a place that's known to have problematic relations with women. Okay. Yeah, look, nothing shady here. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how can I put this? At this point, I'm just not really
These people have got to. They probably have to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mean just like lose their job. I mean, at best, at worst, like lightest, they should not get a golden parachute. No payouts, no money. You just get the fuck out and go.
Yeah.
Worst case, there needs to be a criminal case drawn up.
Yeah.
But whatever. Okay then. Let's see. What else do we have? Anything else to say about the AB acquisition by Microsoft, or shall we move on to free topic?
We can move on to free topic.
All right. You said you had 2 free topics you want to talk about. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah. So Alexa is a sinking ship. That's the voice activation software created by Amazon. Um, Apparently, there has been it's losing money. Like it's bleeding money because nobody's really using it that much.
Because
And
no one uses it.
yeah, and B, there has been a loss of motivation in the project. Uh, so the head, the new head of Amazon, because Jeff Bezos stepped aside. He's probably taking more of an advisory role instead of like a CEO role, and there's not a lot of motivation in the project, and it's just kind of like, I was thinking about this. It's like a lot of these voice that like Siri's not very good in my opinion. Uh, Google Assistant, in my opinion, is probably the best one,
Yeah,
but
Google's the best one
still
you
has its
got. It's
faults.
not great, but
Yeah, it's
it gets
not
the
great.
job
It's the
done.
best out of Yeah, it's the best out of all of them.
Yeah. Siri's just annoying. Like if you say something that sounds like Siri will be like, actually, it's like shut the fuck up. I wasn't talking to you.
Well, the thing about Siri is like her versus Google Assistant. Um, it's like, I can, say, oh, Google, what does this mean? And it'll give me a definition,
Yep.
or sometimes it gives me a vague answer, but I at least get something.
Something.
And then with Siri, it's like, here's some links that I found on the web. It's like, okay. No, I just find that annoying. It's like, yeah, here's some links I found for you. What does this mean? Here's some links.
I tell you what I like about Google. Google helps me with Google Translate. Like
Yeah.
Google, how do I say this in Espanol? And then I'll say it. It's like, oh, here's how you do it. And I'm like, this is great. How do I pronounce this word, Google? It's like it'll tell you. That is so convenient.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no, I wouldn't say it's a shame because I never bought any of the Echo products or anything like that.
Neither did I.
Uh, I just think it's just not there yet. I mean, with Google, they have
They
this
can
search
plug
engine.
that algorithm into their search engine and it works because half the time you're using it to, like the same shit you use Google for typing, you can do with your voice
Well, Google's been doing search
for
like
years.
for years.
Hmm.
I mean, even ever since I was a kid, I remember, even being in like late elementary school, starting to use Google. So it's just like, everybody wants to come out of the gate thinking, oh, we can have something just as good. It's just like, now you're not quite, you don't quite got it yet, guys. Don't quite got it yet. And it's just sometimes a lot of these voice things are just, they become more of a nuisance. They
Yeah,
become more inconvenient than just typing it in a search bar.
yeah. Well, the thing is like I said, here's what I noticed with friends of mine who had Apple products, especially Apple phones, iPhones. If you said something that even sounded like Siri, it would start talking to you.
Yeah,
I'm like, shut the fuck. I wasn't talking to you.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
annoying.
Maybe once quantum computing becomes more of a you know
Nah,
affordable,
nah,
maybe they'll fix this
nah.
problem.
They just need a
Or
better.
maybe it's just computers.
No, they just need a better algorithm. But
Yeah.
does Apple want to put that type of money? Do they like? Here's the thing. I mean, Amazon. Amazon's losing money. Do they want to put more money into making a better algorithm? Because Amazon's search algorithm, even for the Amazon website, isn't great.
Yeah.
So are they going to put more
Uh,
money to make that work? I don't know. You think they would have a better search algorithm because Amazon also like a lot of their shit on the back end is a lot of companies like their servers are hosted by Amazon.
yeah.
And yet a lot of the tech in the back end of Amazon's not that good. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I don't find it too bad, but one thing I find annoying is like when I'm on Metacritic, sometimes the review doesn't go through. Like it'll say 404 not found, and I'm just so mad because like I spent like a good 5 minutes writing the review. Like, and it's the same thing. Like, why don't they fix it?
Because
I don't know if
because
you
right now all these companies realize that they got greedy and they said, "Hey, we have inflation that we created is giving us an excuse to raise our prices. Therefore, we can get whatever we want." And they got short term, they got a lot of money because they overcharged for shit that wasn't really that the price hadn't gone up to make it. But now people are like, "Oh, inflation's here, so that means we got to spend less money." So everyone's tightened their belts, and these companies are like, "Shit, people aren't spending money like they used to on
Yeah.
frivolous, extraneous bullshit." So that means that we can't spend, billions of dollars, millions and billions of dollars to maintain the code for this.
Yeah.
I understand it, but I'm just saying. Anyway, let's keep it moving. You had a second topic, Kenoshi?
Yeah. So DK64, there was this rumor, going around that the reason you needed the expansion pack was because of a bug
Uh huh.
that broke the game. Well, turns out that's not true. Turns out the expansion pack was for their lighting system, and there was a breaking bug, but it was only for certain models of the N64. Because as you know, there are different revisions that come out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have, they tweak the hardware a little bit in each revision. That's why every model has a. I think that's why every model has a model number, and certain like for example, certain model number switches can be hacked a certain way versus newer switches that you have to use a different way to hack it. So like the switch that came out uh, at launch, you can hack with a paper clip, but I believe the newer ones you really can't. You really can't
I
do
mean,
that. You have to do something else.
you can
But
hack it,
yeah,
but it voids the warranty, and you probably like you can't repair it back to where it's you know mint.
but yeah, the expansion pack was just mainly for their for the lighting system that they were using in the game.
Oh, that's
So
fair
I found
because
that
I've seen the
interesting.
emulation of that game and the lighting on that game. If you play it with a certain emulators without certain things put in, the lighting system is where it stutters.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I can see that.
yeah. Because when they first designed the game, they had
They were using
the
computers.
cause, yeah no like the expansion pack was part of the development. They just needed something to justify its existence for the game,
Well,
and it was the lighting.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I've played games that used the expansion pack for the N64, and you can tell the difference in quite a few games.
Yeah,
Like Rogue Squadron, that game plays and looks a lot better with the expansion pack. Majora's Mask with the expansion pack looks a lot better, plays a lot better. Gauntlet Legends, you can only play without the expansion pack. You have 3-player co-op. With the expansion pack, 4-player co-op. Now the launch games, the year one games, the expansion pack doesn't do shit. But some of the later games that came out, the expansion pack actually really does kind of smooth things over. So, um, like Perfect Dark. If you want to enjoy the full experience of that game, you need the expansion pack.
Oh,
Um,
why?
what?
Why the expansion pack? Like, is it the Rumble or is it like?
No, the expansion pack is the memory expander that added another 4 megabytes of memory
Oh,
to the
okay.
console of RAM. So basically, certain games could access that RAM in order to increase the view, increase the graphical fidelity, make the game run
All right.
smoother. Some games would like in order for you to access certain features, you need the expansion pack.
Yeah, it's no different than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Scarlet or whatever it's called.
Not really, because the PS4 Pro was like a $50 increase, whereas the expansion pack, you could buy a game and it would come with that. You get an expansion pack for like 14, 15 bucks back in the
Oh,
day.
okay, never
It was
mind.
very inexpensive. Just the expansion pack itself. But anyway, all I'm saying is this. Um, as an aside, Donkey Kong 64 is still one of my favorite collectathons on the N64. Now, this could be Stockholm Syndrome because I had that game and played it so much that I just knew how to efficiently get everything.
How would you feel if there's a new Donkey Kong 3 Donkey Kong game on the Switch and it was like Mario Odyssey?
I would be very upset if it was like Mario Odyssey.
What?
I
Uh,
was not a fan of Mario Odyssey.
oh, right, I knew that. But
Mario
like,
Odyssey is like there's some 3D Mario games that you can come back and play and it's like you're that little kid playing it all over again. Galaxy 2, 3D World, 64. I do not feel that way about Sunshine and Odyssey. Sunshine, I played and beat that once and I never want to play it again.
right.
Same thing with Odyssey. I played and beat that game. I don't ever want to play it again. Like if I was left on an island and all I had was that game, I would probably kill myself after a week. Because Odyssey doesn't have a lot of replay value, unfortunately.
No, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like you play and you beat it once. Like there's a lot of spectacle to it. I'm not gonna lie, that final Bowser boss fight is really fun. And like how you basically use your hat to take over Bowser's body is kind of interesting. Unfortunately, once you beat the game, it's like I don't like Mario Odyssey is just a series of ideas and level designs where there's nothing connecting it. Like there are these evil bunnies. Why? Why are they evil bunnies? Where do these evil bunnies come from? What is their purpose? Like with other villains in the Mario series, it makes sense. Like before Nintendo retconned Bowser's story, he had his Koopa kids. They were his fucking henchmen / his kids that he sent to do to fuck with people.
Kids.
He had it in two. They retconned it after Super Mario World. They retconned it. But before, those were considered his kids. Okay? I was like, oh, that's cool. Then they retconned it. Okay? They replaced all the 6 of those kids with fucking Bowser Jr., who I hate. Hate Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is like, man, I hate that character. Okay? He's annoying. He is a legitimately annoying character. And you know, I mean, they retconned it. They retconned Mario used to be like a 30-something, 40-something-year-old dude. Now he's 23.
Shut up! I'm not annoying.
Yes, he's annoying. Bowser Jr. is annoying. Bowser Jr. is annoying. Baby Mario is annoying. Toad, as he is now, with that annoying fucking voice, is annoying. I don't know. The Rabbids are annoying.
You don't like the rabbits?
No.
But do you at least like Despicable Me series?
No.
Okay.
No, I like the Despicable Me movies that focus on Gru and his adopted kids and his weird love life with that lady. With the Minions in just a very small amount. Like the Minions are nice as like a little bit here, a little bit there. An entire movie about the Minions? No. Hell no. But yeah, I agree. Anyway, no. So, do you have any topics you want to add, Kirby? This is the free topic section,
Oh,
so you can,
okay.
something
I
you want
wanna
to talk
say-
about that we didn't cover or discuss.
Yeah, I want to say I like the Five Nights at Freddy's game.
All right.
I don't know if that's like controversial, but like,
I mean, man, like what you like. I mean, the guy who made the games is kind of an asshole, but I mean,
oh,
if we canceled everyone who made shit that you like, unless it's something where they're like a pedophile or something like R. Kelly, then I can't fuck with it. But I mean, if they're kind of an asshole, but you like what they like, can you divorce the art from the artist?
yeah. Well, I'd be very upset if like, have you guys ever seen Super Mario Bros. Z?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'd be very angry if Mark Haynes was like a serial killer or a pedophile. Like I'd I mean I would separate the art from the artist and be like, this is good, the artist isn't good.
Nah, if he was a pedophile or a murderer, I'd be like, I can't fuck with you. But if it's just
Right.
like if basically it depends, cause like for me, I consider it a case by case basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't yeah, Scott Collin didn't need that much flack.
I mean, it just for me, it's a case by case basis. Now, see me, I'm kind of like I don't really care because I don't give a shit about Five Nights at Freddy. And when I found out the guy who made it is kind of an asshole, I'm like, then I really have less of a reason to support Five Nights at Freddy's. But everyone has their own, like you do you, is what I'm basically saying. Not everyone's going to be 100% behind everything. Where was I? Oh, yes. Free hot take. Um, or do you have another free topic, or are you done?
I'm let me think. Um oh yeah. Honestly, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't that bad of a Kingdom Hearts game. I know you're not into Kingdom Hearts,
You are
but what
correct,
about
sir.
you,
I
Kanochi?
think he liked it. Kenoshi, you like Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, it's a fun game. It's just the story's dumb, but the story's always been dumb. So
Yeah. You don't play
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts for
well,
the story. You play Kingdom
it's the
Hearts for the
gameplay. I
spectacle and the
mean, you
level
play for the
design and the Disney
characters,
levels. What?
and the characters are good, but not the story.
Eh, I wouldn't even say that the characters are good.
Yeah, it's a little cringy. I agree. Like
I
even Mario's not as cringy as Kingdom Hearts.
I would say that Kingdom Hearts is designed for a certain crowd of people. And if you're in that crowd of people, you're going to love Kingdom Hearts. I am
Yeah.
not that crowd of people, so I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's like I'm of the age where I love the Muppets, Fraggle Rock, and Sesame Street. Like I'm of that age where I love that shit. But
Oh.
people younger than me don't give a shit about that stuff because they're not of that age. They aren't of that
Oh.
crowd.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like Barney, but
Yeah,
I'm
so
of the
like
age.
everyone has their own, it's a taste thing. Like I like the age of Square Enix that gave us Kingdom Hearts, I don't like. Like most of the shit they came out with at that time, I don't like. So Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, ugh, I don't care. But
Okay.
if someone likes it, knock yourself out. It doesn't do shit for me, but
Yeah. Yeah.
to each his own. Anyway, as I was saying,
But even the Kingdom Hearts fandom, there's like some di there's like
div-
what
division.
the division between some fans on whether it was good or not.
Well, I mean, because the thing is, like, I'm guessing you have people who are into Kingdom Hearts because of the cameo characters from other Square Enix properties who appear there. There are people who
Yeah.
are Disney fans who like to see how
Yeah,
they
I
have how they're going to show those worlds off, those IPs in Kingdom Hearts. And then you have people who just legitimately like the hack and slash combat of Kingdom Hearts. I am none of those people. I'm not a huge Disney fan.
Oh,
I'm not
really?
really into the cameo characters because the big cameo character that everyone's like, oh man, Sephiroth and Cloud. I don't like Final Fantasy VII, so that's not really gonna do shit for me.
Oh, okay.
Um,
But do you like Final Fantasy VI?
I do like Final Fantasy VI, but there's no
Oh,
Final Fantasy VI characters in Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, I agree.
So
It's
and if they did put Final Fantasy VI characters in Kingdom Hearts,
you wouldn't play it.
I still would be like, fuck you. I don't care about Kingdom Hearts. If Kingdom Hearts was a person and I found out a car hit them, I'd be like, fuck them. Don't care. Do not give a shit. But anyway, I guess it's time to give my hot take. My hot take is about it's about the Steam sale. The Steam sale this year was amazing. For Black Friday. I think they will have an even better sale at Christmas. So don't spend all your money, folks. Save some back for Christmas. But aside from that, Steam sales were great this year. Peace, arrivederci. It's not really a hot take. It's just a piece of advice. Kenoshi, do you have a hot take or unpopular opinion? Oh,
I think he's out.
Yeah, he went someplace. All right then. Do you have a unpopular opinion that you would like to share?
Ah, Um, let me think. I guess. I don't know. No, I don't.
All right. Kenoshi, you back?
I think I
Yeah,
hear.
I'm back.
All right, sir. Do you have a unpopular opinion or hot take you'd like to share?
Not particularly. Not this week.
All right. All right. I guess just me. I guess. I don't know. All right, that's the end of the cast. Anything you want to pimp out?
Project Console, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays.
All right.
I want to say I'm gonna make a retro channel soon. Called Retrospective J.
All right.
What
All
about
right.
you?
That's the end of the cast. We have this podcast every Wednesday. The BS Buster cast every Wednesday. So thank you for joining. That's the end of the cast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel. If you are a female gamer or you know a female gamer who wants to join a podcast and share her opinions about gaming, you can get in touch with me at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com or through Discord. The Discord link is in the chat. It is in the description. So with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, and play your games. Good night.